Hi Pooja, good afternoon.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I am fine. And what about you, sir?
I'm also good, thank you. So Pooja, you have applied for a front-end developer role. Can we just start with your quick introduction?
Yes, sir. My name is Pooja. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Pooja Maske, and I am from Umarkhed, belongs to Yatmal district. I have completed my graduation in BCA in Amravati University, and I have 2 years experience of development, 1.5 year experience in CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, and last 6 months I am working on Angular. So that's all about me.
Okay. So can you just tell me on which projects you have worked, and can you brief me about your projects?
Yes. Uh, my project is a type of a finance project, and I'm working on that project on form. I have created directives, routing, input that form, and I use reactive forms.
Okay. Okay. So can you give me means you said you have total 2 years of experience, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So how many projects you have worked?
Sir, currently I'm working on only one project because in Angular I have only 6 month experience.
Okay.
Angular project. Yes.
Okay, fine. Let's start with your technicals. Okay. So, what are the new features that are introduced in CSS3?
In CSS3, CSS3 is a updated version of CSS, and CSS is a cascading styling sheet. And features of CSS3, it is supported in all browsers, that is Mozilla, Chrome, etc.
Okay. Only these three. No, two.
So currently, I know about three.
Okay. What are the new features that are introduced in HTML5?
Uh, HTML5 is the updated version in HTML. Basically, HTML is a hypertext markup language, and it is used to create web pages. In HTML5, new features, API, session storage, and local storage, and also a feature in geolocation. And HTML5 have more semantic tags. Semantic tags means meaningful tags, header, footer, aside, etc.
Okay. What is the difference between pseudo elements and pseudo classes?
In pseudo element selector, we have to define particular state of the HTML element. And pseudo element selector, we have to define particular part of the HTML element.
Examples?
Examples in pseudo elements, pseudo class selector, that is end child, odd number, even number, and in HTML element pseudo element selector, we have to particular part means we use a span and change the particular word.
But which are the examples? What we use to, means which are the pseudo elements? Any examples can you tell which?
Pseudo element. Sorry, sir. Everything.
Okay, so tell me, hover, active, and focus are pseudo elements or pseudo classes?
Yes, sir, that is the example of pseudo element selector.
You said young child.
So Yes.
Pseudo
Pseudo pseudo class selector for
and
active.
after before.
Yes. After before is pseudo element selector.
Okay. Okay. What is mean by descendant selector?
Descendant. Descendant selector is also called as, I think, relational selector. Is that parent-child selector.
What is the difference between direct child and descendant selector?
I know about direct child and descendant selector, but I have to sometime
Okay.
to
Which property we use to avoid the repeating behavior of an image?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat your question?
Yes. Which property we should use when image is repeating?
Sorry, sir.
Okay. What is the use of object fit property?
Check fit means suppose we have a image and that image is fixed on UI.
Yes. Image is fixed on Y means I did not understand.
Fixed on UI means I don't know exactly mean.
Okay, fine. Okay. So what is the difference between section and a div tag?
Fiction and div.
Yes.
Hello.
Ah, yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Do you know SAS?
Yes, sir.
What is SAS?
SAS is a synthetical awesome styling sheet. And in SAS, we have to declare method and properties. And SAS is a preprocessor of CSS. And by using SAS, SAS is very easy to as compared to CSS.
Okay. But why should we use SAS over CSS? Means in SAS also we will write CSS only, correct?
Yes.
Yes. But why should we use it?
Because of I think SAS is a more comfortable language in as compared to CSS, and it is
SAS is a
less
language.
SAS.
Okay, just tell me one answer. That for big projects, what you will suggest to your project manager that we have to use CSS or SAS?
SAS.
Okay. Then he will ask why.
Because in SAS we have to declare methods and properties. Suppose we have to color. We have to give a color property, and that color property declared in SAS. So that color code is used in our project.
Okay, so you are saying
Means yes,
we can use variables methods, correct? Means
yes,
mixing. Okay, so
yes.
what is the use of that? Using variables mixins, what will happen?
Suppose we have declare a property or method one time. That property we use multiple times in our project.
Yes. So reusability.
Yes,
Yes, reusability. And we can track the project easily. Okay, if we want to change the color, we
yes,
don't have to change everywhere, correct? Just we can
yes,
change at one specific line.
yes, yes.
Okay. So what are the features of SAS? As you said, variables one. Next,
SAS is more scalable and SAS is means, writes the code write very few code.
I did not understood. Right, very few code. Okay, okay. Another.
So, I know about,
Okay. Do you know mixing?
sir, I'm not aware of it.
Okay. Do you know any CSS framework?
He uses framework.
Yes. Yes. I can see in your CV, Bootstrap is there in your skills. So what is Bootstrap?
Bootstrap is by using Bootstrap, our website is more um, more creative and we have to bootstrap in our project and we attach the CDN in HTML page. And in Bootstrap we have inbuilt uh, inbuilt code. Uh,
Okay. So Bootstrap is a framework of CSS. Okay.
yes,
Okay. Okay. Do you know what is Flexbox means in Bootstrap?
uh, basically Flexbox is a one-dimensional layout, layout model, and it is used to ordering the boxes, row and columns.
Okay. If I want to, if I have four divs, okay,
Yes, yes.
and I have to take them in a one line with the same space between them. So what should I use?
For that time we use property space evenly.
Okay. And if I want to give for two divs same space and for next two divs some different space, then
That tube is no, vertical or horizontal.
Uh, Vertical. Sorry, horizontal.
So that time we use, I think, space between property.
Okay. Only space between. No other property will use.
I know only space between property.
No, no, means display flex or something to their parent. Should we use or directly we should use?
Its direction. Uh, the align item, I think. Align item space between property.
Okay. Okay. So, what is float?
Float. I know float concept, but I have to time. I want to time to recall it.
Hmm?
I know about float, but
Yes.
I want to some time to recall it.
Okay. You have time.
But I don't remember float.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So, what is the difference between position absolute and position relative?
Position absolute. Suppose we have a box and we have a parent box and child box, and I want to move parent box. I want to move parent box. Then we have to give a absolute property. And suppose I have move a child box. Uh, then that time I use position relative.
Okay. Okay. What is JavaScript?
JavaScript is an object-oriented programming language, and it is used to create dynamic web pages. And JavaScript works on website to more aliveness.
Okay. What is hoisting?
Questing means all the declaration of the scope get shifted at the top of the scope.
What is scope?
Scope means availability and accessibility of the function of
What
the
is the
variable.
difference?
Yes.
What is the difference between global scope and block scope?
For global scope is also called as window scope, and block scope is also called as functional scope. In global scope, suppose we have to declare a function, and that function uh, that function is called in outside of the function. And in functional scope, suppose we have a function, and that function is called only inside a function.
And what is local scope?
Local scope and functional scope both are same.
Then what is block scope? Can you explain me with the example local scope, and block scope?
Sorry, sir, I'm not remember.
Okay. What are the new features that are introduced in ES6?
In ES6, object-oriented, OOPs and promise, closure, uh, higher order function, spread operator.
Okay. What is why we should use promise when promise is used?
Uh, the promise use asynchronous behavior in JavaScript, and promise is a better error handling, and a promise is a maintainability and reliability of code. Suppose we have a nested function, and that nested function is very hard to find error, and that problem is overcome in promise.
Okay. So, what is closure?
Closure is a functions of bundle, and closure is a object in JavaScript, and
Can you explain me with the example? Then you can tell the definition.
yes, sir.
Okay. You can share your screen.
Yes.
Create one example and then you can explain.
Sir, my screen is visible to you. Hello.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir. This is an example of closure. Hello.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So, can you explain me what is happening and what is called a closure?
Uh, Closure is a functions of bundle, means we have a parent function, and inside that inner function, that inner function is gives the access to the parent function. Uh, Inside that create a lexical scope, means scope of the parent. and I return in inner function, and that inner function, their inner function gives the access of parent function. So that's why this is called as closure.
I did not understood what you told. Can you explain me in short and brief means just we can understand simply. You can take your
Okay,
time.
okay. Closure is a functions of bundle. Means
Okay,
we have declared a function inside another function,
correct.
and in that example, I give a parent function, and inside that inner function, that inner function it gives to the access of parent function.
Access of parent function means I did not understood. How it will give the access of parent function? It will give the access of parent functions variables means correct uh, that because of lexical scope we can use the variables inside this function. We can access the variables declarations of parent function in inner function. Correct.
Inner function. Yes.
Okay. Next. So we are accessing here x of
Yes.
parent function inside inner function.
Inner function.
Okay.
I declared x is equal to 10. That
Correct.
inside inner function, that x is increment
Yes.
and return x
Yes. So you have
and
changed the value of x.
x.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And I return inner function.
You
Yes.
have returned inner function. So firstly, which function will get called and from where?
Firstly, uh, parent function is called,
Yes. Okay.
and uh, that parent function I have declared in another variable.
Okay.
The parent function gives the definition of the parent function, and suppose I have declared one other variable, let fun1 is equal to 2, and call function 1. Hello.
Ah, yes. Okay, fine. Okay, you can stop your screen, Pooja. What is Angular?
Angular is a open source code in JavaScript and written in TypeScript. And the primary purpose of Angular is create a single page application.
So Angular is a framework of JavaScript, correct?
Yes.
So how the data binding works in means JavaScript? How many types of there are of data bindings?
Sir, in JavaScript, suppose we have to transfer the data.
In Angular, sorry.
Okay. In Angular, we have used four types of data binding: property binding, event binding, string interpolation, and two-way data binding. That is the banana in the box. And suppose I have transferred the data HTML template to TS file. That time I use event binding or
Yes.
two-way data binding also. And suppose I have to transfer the data TS file to a template page. That time I use property binding and string interpolation.
Okay, so these are the types of one-way data binding, correct? And
Yes.
two-way data binding is
Two-way data binding is NG model.
yes. Okay, so there are basically two types of data binding, one-way and two-way.
Two-way.
In one-way, string interpolation and yes, string interpolation
String
and
interpolation and event binding.
event binding will come. Okay.
Yes.
So what is a directive?
So basically, directive is change the structure change the structure of DOM, and it is manipulate to the DOM. And directives, we have a three types of directives: component directive, structural directive, and functional directive. Uh, in structural directive, suppose we have to remove or add the elements in DOM. That time we use structural directive. And example of structural directive is ng and ng for. And by in function attribute directive, and in attribute directive we have to change look and feel of the DOM.
Okay. And which are the examples of attribute directive?
Attribute directive is uh, I know the examples. ng style,
Yes, correct. In this Thailand. Okay, fine. So, what is pipe in Angular?
basically pipe is used to transform the data, and pipe is trans pipe is uh, a simple function in Angular, and by using pipe we can transform uh, template expression using input value, and transform and return transform value. And Angular provide by default pipe types, that is lower, upper, lowercase, uppercase, and currency type, etc.
Okay. What is the use of a sync pipe?
I don't know think pipe.
Can we create a custom pipe?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between input and output decorators?
Input and output decorator basically that decorators must have parent-child relationship in components. And suppose I have to transfer the data parent to child, that time I use input decorator. And suppose I have to transfer the data child to parent. That time I use output decorator.
Okay. And if they are not parent child, means the relation is not parent child, okay, you have to transfer the data from any component to any component, then what you will use?
That time use service routing.
Subject.
Yes, subject also.
What is the difference between promise and observable?
Basically, promise are eager and observables are lazy. And in case,
Okay, just one thing I have to ask, sorry to interrupt. So what is the means what is what problems will occur because as you said promise is eager,
yes,
is there any problem to become fast or eager?
uh, promises are fast.
Yes, yes, correct. But
Yes.
is there any problem to being a fast? What problem will occur? Okay, fine. You can continue with that answer. Uh, Differences.
Promises are eager and observable are lazy. And in case of promise, we have only in case of promise don't need to cancel. But in case of observable, we have to cancel. Can stop the execution. That is means from observable must be uh, unsubscribed.
Okay. Observables can be unsubscribed, but promise can't. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What is a subject?
Basically, subject is a object in Angular, and subject is behave like observable and observer. In case of subject, the uh, subscriber subscriber will subscribe to late. That time, the subscriber will not receive the immediate data, immediate value.
Okay. But why we will use it? What is the use of subject?
Subject uses communicate between two different components at one project.
Transferring the data from.
Yeah.
Okay. So oh, you know what is angular routing means?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you work on routing?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes. Hello.
Ah, yes. Okay. So what is means what should I use to navigate from one link to another link?
In case of navigation, Firstly, routing in Angular. Uh, uh, User allows to navigate between two different components, and it allows to user it allows to create single page application with the help of navigation. So I suppose I navigate to another page. That time I use firstly I uh, inject a property in constructor, uh, route uh, private route private uh, suppose we have to navigate a different page. That time we use the navigate property.
Okay, but as you said, we inject route, correct? But from
Yes, in
which
constructor.
module? Yes, but from which means dependency will inject it.
uh, Router. Uh, but I know that property, but I just till now I don't remember.
What is the difference between ng pristine and ng dirty?
Sorry, sir.
What is the difference between ng pristine and ng dirty?
Okay. NG dirty. Suppose I have entered some information in input. Uh, that time that form is dirty. And suppose I have in NG Prestige, the in NG Prestige, the form has been not modified by user. That time use NG Prestige.
Yes, but what is the difference between both ng dirty and ng pristine? Means in ng dirty also it will be true if the form is modified, correct? Okay, and ng pristine also be true if the form is modified, correct? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between them, ng pristine and ng dirty?
Sorry, sir.
Okay. What is the use of translate service?
Translate.
Translate service.
What sir, I mean,
You can study it after the interview.
yes, yes.
So which module Angular provides for sending or getting the data from the backend to sending a request, getting the response from backend? Which module we should use?
Backing to front end.
This means for sending the request to the backend, getting the response from the backend. How will get it?
By using HTTP module.
Yes. Okay. So you know about HTTP module, correct?
Sorry, sir, but I don't have kind much information in HTTP module.
Okay, but you can call the API, no? You can call the link. Yes, and get the data. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I will share you one link. Just you have to call this API and create one table and bind it this data. Okay. I have shared you. Share your screen.
Sorry, sir, but I'm not able to call HTTP request. Hello?
Yes. You have to use Angular. In Angular, you have to do it.
Sir, I don't have that kind much information about HTTP model, but I prepare after the interview.
Okay. Okay. Just a last question.
Yes, sir.
How do we prevent memory leak in Angular application?
Sorry,
How can we prevent memory leak in Angular application?
don't aware about memory.
Okay. Okay. So we are done with your interview. So do you have any questions for me?
Uh, yes, sir. In practical knowledge, any suggestion for me?
Yes, you have to do a lot of practice because HTTP module is something that you have to tell in your work also.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
when you
Yes,
are because I have asked you about your project and you have tell what work you have did. I did not ask you what work you have did. Okay,
yes,
yes. So if you have 2 years of experience, then you have to tell that I worked. I have consumed HTTP calls, send interacted with server with HTTP module. Okay, lot of bug fixing I have did. Then you can
yes,
tell I have worked on routing form. When I ask you about the what work you have done, okay. Yes. When just asked you about a project, so you have to tell me just about the project. Okay. Yes, and you have to practice a lot HTTP module because if you don't know anything, but you have to know HTTP call, how to get the data from the backend and send the request to the backend. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
thank you, sir.